Well, there may be snow outside, but there's spring in here. Today, I am taking a look at the Chantecaille Spring Collection. This is also known as the Wild Meadows Collection. I have the eyeshadow quad, and I picked up both of the lip chics. I do not have the blushes. I am thinking about picking them up, but I've picked up so many blushes lately. I feel like I'm a little blushed out. Plus, Armani's are still coming and a couple of others, so maybe I'll pick them up when I pick those up. But for today, let's focus on the quad and the lip cheeks. And when I was looking, in the beginning when I first decided whether or not I was going to pick these up, I did not pick these up early. And one of the reasons I didn't, and I mentioned it in my videos, I don't love the packaging of this. I don't know. To me, it really just doesn't look that pleasing to the eye. I think it's prettier in person than it is online. I will say that. I think the different, like the top bottoms to the lip cheeks, I don't know, for me it's a little distracting. Maybe that's just me because I don't like things that are kind of mismatched. Like I just don't love that. And the eyeshadow, I understand what they're trying to do, but like the bottom being like a different pattern than the top, I don't know. I was kind of like, it's not really my favorite. But the shades looked pretty, and I do like the Chantecaille formula, but I was also like, I don't need it. So I didn't pick up the blushes, like I said, because I don't need them. If I decide later on I want to pick them up, obviously I will show them all to you in comparison to others. But I have a lot of blush right now. Not to say that Chantecaille blushes aren't great, they are, but they looked very pink to me, and frankly, I don't wear that much pink as it is. But I was, while playing around with the Chanel Leblanc's collection, which is the Delices, which I know is still not here in the United States, guys, and I wish I had a good answer for all of you. I've heard from many of you, either here or over on Patreon. By the way, thank you so much again for everyone that is supporting me over on Patreon. It does really help. I just did my taxes for the year and figured out how much I spent on all these products for a year. And it's incredibly expensive. And, of course, YouTube doesn't pay you for any of it. You don't get paid for any of this. And so I do it all myself, and I get very little PR, if any. And I don't take sponsorships and everything at this point. So the financial support is incredibly helpful to do more reviews like this. So I was looking at the Chanel Leblanc and thinking to myself, let me go back to the date. It is going to be April 1st. That's what I'm hearing now in the United States. It is available in the UK. It is available in other countries. It's just not available in the US. And I don't have a good answer for any of you about why. I don't know. Supply chain, shipping, I don't know what to tell you, but I do have a review up of the blush and the eyeshadow quad here on YouTube because it is available for sale in other countries, so I feel like, it should be safe to be on the channel. Otherwise, I do have other things over on Patreon. That's what I was thinking of before when it popped into my head. I do have things on Patreon that aren't available anywhere yet, and I will have more pictures over there actually coming very soon. Probably actually when this video goes up. So if you're interested in supporting my channel, which I greatly appreciate, and seeing sneak peeks, it's all over on Patreon. But I was looking at the Delices and I was like, oh, this looks like the Chantecaille a little bit. And I do think they look a little similar. It's not as similar in person as they did in like the promo pics, but I think there is some similarity. And, I think it's spring, right? So, yeah, I think you're going to see these kinds of shades, but I thought I would just swatch them today for you guys so you could see that before I did an eye look with it. So first I'll swatch the Chanel Delices. It's a really pretty quad. I have to say it's prettier than I thought it would be for me because I don't like pastels, so I was kind of like, eh. But actually it's really nice on the eye. It's not my favorite Chanel palette. That's definitely true. It's not my favorite, but it's nice. And it's different because everything that's been coming out lately, I feel like has been red and pink. Nothing wrong with red and pink. I just, All right, so that's the Chanel. And let's put the Chantecaille. All right, so first of all, the pink that's in the Chantecaille is very pink. The one in the Chanel is lavender. This is more pigmented than the Chanel. The yellow in here is similar to the yellow in the Chanel. A little more shiny and a little more gold. And then the last shade, that's a beautiful shade. So here is the Chanel. Here is the Chantecaille. Chantecaille is definitely more, these are both shimmer shades. This is a really beautiful shade. I'm looking at it in my 3X mirror. It's almost like a shimmery mocha. So it's more brown. You've got the pink. You've got this like cool brown, goldish yellow, as the Chanel is definitely more pastel-y. Interesting. You could definitely keep this Chantecaille like very neutral if you just cancel out that pink. Like look at these 3 shades, cancel out that pink. You probably have those 3 shades. I probably have those 3 shades. But anyway, we won't get into that. I'm gonna do a video with all my lip cheeks from Chantecaille swatched on my lips. That's coming. I told you that's a series that I'm doing this year. I've already done Hermes, Lisa Eldridge, Tom Ford, and Charlotte Tilbury. Those are the 4. I will do Chantecaille probably next. And then I have Dior and Chanel to go. Those are gonna be a lot. Then I can also do, I have a couple of others, Sisley, Guerlain. There's a few, but anyway. So the shades that are part of this collection that I picked up were Carpathia and Meadow. There was another shade I did not pick up. So I didn't pick up all of them. This is Meadow. Meadow looks like a very bright pink. And then Carpathia looks like a very bright peach. So here's Carpathia. I'm sorry. Yeah, here's Carpathia and here's Meadow. Meadow is the pinker one. Neither one was like a favorite shade when I looked at them. That's why I was kind of like, again, I was just like, I don't really need these. But I do love the Lip Chic formulas and I do wear them a lot. And I don't really have a lot of like spring colors. It's not really what I own. So I was like, you know what? I will get them. I'm going to be doing, like I said, swatching videos. So why not? All right. So let's put on the Carpathia. See how that looks. I'll put the Meadow on at the end after we do the eye look. It is a very bright spring color. It goes very pink on me. I do think it's a pretty pink shade. It's just not really me. All right, let's do an eye look. Let's just see how this looks. I think the most interesting thing at this point is to show you how much more like neutral this one is than the Chanel one. And that if you take out this pop of pink, like it's basically a neutral palette. You know, with the gold in there, it's going to lean a little bit warmer, but other than that. All right, so let's take the brown shade and use that, and I'll like kind of diffuse it out all over the eye as a transition. I'm using a BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy brush, A503. I know I need to get better about telling you guys what brushes I use, because sometimes I forget to include those. And I do want to let you know what brushes I use. I just sometimes get so caught up in the makeup that I forget the brushes. This is a nice neutral brown. I'd say it leans a little cool. All right, let's take that pink and put it on the lid. Let's just see how pink it is. We can always diffuse it with the yellow, but oh no, it's nice. Okay. So what this pink is on the eyelid is like a bright pink. It's a very like poppy pink, almost like the lipstick. But on the eye with the brown, I think it looks really nice. If you don't like pink, I would just tell you do not use this one color or use very little of this color. But it's a nice, it has some shine to it. It's not a matte, it's not a shimmery shade, it's like a satin. Look how pretty that pink is though. That's like a nice pink. That's a pretty pink. I'm not a pink person if you've watched my channel before. I don't really like pink, but that's nice. That's a nice shade. I'm gonna go back in with that brown and like the same brush, same shade. I'll show you the two I used again, the two shades, but I just wanna go over. It almost creates like a purple because the brown is cool with the pink. And so you're getting almost a purple. So I've used those two shades. This in the crease, this on the lid. Yeah, that's really nice actually. See, this is why even though I didn't like the packaging, I decided to pick it up because I knew it would be nice. Okay, now we're gonna take that gold, that yellow, and we're gonna use a pop of it on the inner corner because I want you to see it and how it looks kind of like by itself. It's very pretty. It's a very like light yellow gold. It's not as lemony yellow as the Chanel. There's a little bit more gold in it, but I think it's gonna be really nice on the lid when we use it like over the other shades. All right, so now we're gonna take the satiny brown shade and I'm gonna use this in the outer corner. Again, this is an Angie Hot and Flashy brush. This is a 502, so it's a little smaller of a brush. We're gonna concentrate it out here on the outer V of the eye, intensifying. And again, I'm not going for like a super deep look because this is spring and you know, you can wear anything you want at any time of year. Smoky, pastels, whatever. When I think of spring, I do think of a lighter, more springy, light look. I mean, that's just me. All right, I'm gonna take that same shade and use it to run under my lower lash line. And I'm not gonna go in heavy with it. A little bit of fallout, but not too bad. Oh, that is really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna take the brown shade that we started with, run that on my upper lash line. Again, keeping it soft. I'm not gonna use a pencil or a liquid liner for this look. I'm just using the shadows. Look how pretty that is. Now again, this is using that pink all over the eye so you get a lot of the pink. Because I feel like, you know, why not? Why not use the pink? I mean, it's a springy look. But it is pink, but it's really a very nice shade. It has like a lavender base to it. So I think that's why I like it more. Like, yes, it's a bright poppy pink, but it's got like almost like a lavender base. I really like it. I think it's very pretty. But if you don't like pink and you don't want to use the pink or you want to use less of the pink, you can put the pink down like I just did and then do this. And this is kind of what I did with the Chanel. You can put the gold shade on top. You're going to get a very different look. Or you can go without the pink at all or just use a very little bit of the pink. Yeah, you get a similar look to the Chanel. I actually think on the eye, it does look very similar to the Chanel, which is a nice look. It's springy, it's simple, it's, you know, light. The Chanel has more of that lemon yellow. This has a little bit more of a gold. The pink in here, as you saw in my swatches, is more pink. That one's lavender. And this has like a brown satiny shade and a brown matte shade so that, you know, you can get a deeper look with it. With the Chanel, you're going to have a peachy shade and the brown shade. The peachy shade is, it's very, very light. So I think this actually has more pigment to it than the Chanel. It's very pretty. It's very light. It's very ethereal. Again, I do think it's a similar look though to the Chanel Delices. So if you can't get your hands on the Chanel Delices until April 1st and you really feel the need that you have to have this color story right now, Chantecaille is it. Let me put some mascara on and we'll talk about final thoughts. Mascara is on and this does remind me of the Chanel Delices. God, it is very similar. I'd say that the major differences is that the Chantecaille, the gold that's in here is more of a yellow gold and it's not as opaque, but it's a very pretty lemony yellow gold. And in the Chanel, the the shiny shade is much more yellow. Here's the Chanel and here's the Chantecaille. I think you can see what I mean. Like this has more yellow to it, but they're not that different. I think the Chanel is more opaque. When you put the yellow over the entire look on the Chanel, it's much more yellow. Whereas this one, you get like a gold overlay. You can see the color underneath. This one, of course, has pink, and the Chanel's is more of a lavender, but on the eye, I think it is similar. And then in the Chanel, you have a satiny cool brown and a peach, whereas this one you have a satiny cool brown and a brown. So I think you could make this more neutral. If you keep the pink out entirely, by the way, I think it absolutely is going to be more neutral, a little bit warm neutral, because I used the pink all over the entire eye to get it to have that more of that, to look more similar to the Chanel. I think without the pink, you're going to get a very different look. But the formula is beautiful, similar to the formulas that they had in the Giraffe and the Cougar and the Black Jaguar, like that type of formula, really beautiful. The packaging is not my favorite, as I said. It's just, I don't know, something about it just doesn't really appeal to me. But, you know, that's an aesthetic thing. This is done in their 25-year anniversary. They're proud to support the Villa Abatis Cultural Association and their work protecting the biodiversity of Romania's Carpathian Mountains, which is great. I'm glad that they do that type of work. The lip cheeks. I have the Carpathia on at the moment. I will now put the Meadow on so you can see how that one looks. All right, let's do the Meadow. The Meadow is the peachier of the two, much lighter shade. This is something that I would actually wear quite often. It's a really easy shade to wear, frankly. It's not that much deeper than my skin tone, certainly warmer than my skin tone, but makes for a really nice peach shiny lip. Of the two, I was mostly interested in the Meadow when I saw the shades, but I wanted to pick up more than one so that you guys could see it for those of you who are interested in a pinkier shade. That's definitely the Carpathia. There's the other one, which is, let me look it up. So Meadow is described as a flattering peachy nude, which I think it is. Carpathia is a soft apricot blush. Definitely goes more pink on me. And Crocus is the brightest one that I did not get, which is a bright, playful pink. You can, if you've watched my channel, you know that pinks aren't really my thing. So that's why I went with the other two. But of the two, Meadow is my favorite. And then the blush, there is Apple Blossom, which is a soft, fresh pink, and Anemone, which is a vivid raspberry. That is going to be the color, by the way, guys, of the season. A bright, poppy raspberry pink, like the House Labs, which is the dragon fruit, and this is Anemone. There's gonna be one from Armani. They're gonna be very colorful. There was one from Dior, Patrick Ta. There's somebody else that I'm forgetting right now. But anyway, that very bright pink, shock of pink, that's the color. Like, that's the popular color. So you're going to see it everywhere. It looks good on most people, to be very honest with you. You just have to be careful on how you, depending on, you know, your skin tone, how you play with it. Lighter hand, you know, you can be more free with it, whatever it is that you like for aesthetics. But that bright pink is the color. Like I said, I might pick them up later in the season. I'm on a low buy. I'm trying to buy less of things that I don't need. Both of them look very pretty, and the Chantecaille formula is always good. It's not that. I just don't love the packaging. I just want to be honest. And so the products are excellent, but when you get to this level of, in my opinion, spending on luxury beauty, yes, the formula, the product has to be excellent, no doubt, but you're also paying for packaging. Like, these are $75 a blush. It's a lot of money. So if you don't also like the packaging, you know, $75, you can get another blush for less money that you like the packaging of. That's all. The Wild Meadows Eye Quartet, which I have today, is $78. And again, like I said, I really do think it's a very pretty quad. It's not really my color story per se because of the pink that's in there, and but it's actually a pretty pink. I would tell you though, if I'm just using this for myself, I am probably gonna just use these 3 shades and create a really pretty kind of neutral look. And the pink, when I wear the pink, I'm probably gonna use it by itself and use it as like a one and done monochromatic pink look, which I do every once in a while. It's not that often because it's not pink is not really my thing. But anyway, that's probably how I'll use it. Just want to be, you know, clear with all of you. I do think it's a really pretty collection in that it's very spring. It's very floral, of course, because they're, you know, florals all over it. I think it fits with the season. I'm much more interested though what's coming out for summer for Chantecaille. Again, that's just me. But I am happy to have these, and I will more than likely pick up the blushes later on in the season. If you're still interested in seeing them, I will certainly swatch them against other blushes for you. I think that's it for today, guys. I don't really think I have anything else. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon.